about hip hop today is it's smart. It's insightful. The way that they can communicate a complex message in a very short space is remarkable. And a lot of these kids, they're not going to be reading the New York Times. That's not how they're getting their information.
My hip hop will rock and shock the nation. Hip hop culture is more than music. Peace to you and speak the truth. Show 'em what peace can do when there reach for you. My hip hop will rock and shock the nation. Rap is something you do. Hip hop is something you live.
So hip hop didn't invent anything, but hip hop reinvented everything.
This is Baby Girl Faces, and this episode is brought to you by
Wouldn't you like your name right after Baby Girl Faces? It can happen. You can support this show. You can support this work at patreon.com/Manny Faces. I'm getting it out of the way, but y'all could do that. There's actually some interesting things that has to do with this show on that whole Patreon thing. There's tiers because you can always join the show in the chat, and I hope you do the comments on youtube.com/Manny Faces or /@Manny Faces Official to follow the show and to be part of the show. We want your interaction, your 2 cents, your 4 cents. I'll take your 8 cents, but don't get greedy. But if you Patreonize, you actually have the opportunity to come on the show as a co-host or sit in during the discussions and maybe promote your own activities. So think about that if you get a chance to go over to the patreon.com/Manny Faces. I don't look as bright as crispy as I used to be. I'm going to have to bring in someone who's just as bright and crispy. My man, my mellow, Silent Night, in the place to be.
Oh, hey, I wasn't expecting you.
Oh, I thought you might be expecting me since we talked about doing the show.
Oh, yeah.
And you were waiting in the background, so
that's a good point.
Good point. I figured
but I'm here either way.
I don't look as bright as usual. I mean, I mess with the lighting here a lot, and I try to. Oh, there we go. Maybe that helps a little bit.
I don't look as dim as a couple streams ago.
I forgot to do this last time. But I was like, oh, SK, I like your very sophisticated background.
Mm-hmm.
It's very masterpiece theater. I think you should talk like this for the rest of the night, as a matter of fact. Delight me with tales of your regalia. Welcome to Hip Hop Can Save Great Britain. I'm your host, George Peppa Pig.
That's when you branch out.
I said, well, it's funny. I was on an interview. I was interviewed by the great Mazi Mutafa from Words, Beats, and Life, a great nonprofit, hip-hop oriented nonprofit based in Washington, D.C. And I was on the radio with him last week. I was on FM radio. Oh. You ever hear about this thing? It's like it's not like the internet. It's actually radio. It's weird. And
I remember those.
Yeah. And he says to me a lot of time, like what a lot of people do when they say hip hop can save America, hip hop can save the world. And I'm like, that's the next podcast. Let me get this one situated first, and then we get, you know what I mean? Like, I know that. I get it. So I'm getting there. Support this one first.
There. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Oh, just America? I'm like, I'm killing myself doing the show, bro. Like, can you throw me a bone here?
Then anyway, you like doing a travel show after this,
Yeah. Well, I can't say too many things, but anyway, right here we're on Hip Hop Can Save America. This is the live stream evolution of the show that's been acclaimed and been around for several years. You can follow it on your podcast app. We're already there. We have a lot of episodes. This isn't a new thing. This is just a new thing. You know what I mean? You can go to hiphopcansaveamerica.com, or you can search your Apple Podcast, Spotify, whatever you use to listen to podcasts, and look for Hip Hop Can Save America. We're here. We've been there. I've been doing these shows for a long time. SK, you've been a guest on several of them, but of course, we've had guests from across the spectrum of intersectionality with hip hop. That's what we do. We talk about the intersection of hip hop. You can find your hip hop entertainment news and your gossip news and your, salaciousness somewhere else. Yeah, thanks. That's a good one, right? Wait, okay.
Hey, yo.
You couldn't hear a sound effect, could you?
I heard it. I heard it this time.
Oh, good. Okay, good. I'm right. We're trying to tweak everything here. So anyway, we're here. We've been here. I've interviewed folks that work in the intersection of hip hop and education, hip hop and mental health therapy, hip hop and theater, hip hop and anything. Like just really like hip hop. And I'm waiting for a hip hop plumber. But we've got a lot of intersections that we've covered. I believe personally that there's no area of society that can't be benefited from having some kind of authentic connection to hip hop, whether that be, like we said, in education, whether teachers using hip hop in the classrooms or in mental health settings or in business and commerce and entrepreneurship, but not the fuddy-duddy stuff, not the jump on the bandwagon, not the take advantage and capitalize off of hip hop, integrate hip hop, bring hip hop people into the mix and have them now be a part of that field or that discipline. So that's what we talk about on this show to great length. Right now we're going live stream. We're doing this, looks like most Mondays, probably every Monday, except the Monday I can't be here, from 9 to 11 Eastern. Shouts to Ada. What's up with you? Shouts to Jaron from the City of Gem podcast. What's up? What's up? What's up? And Ada, of course. Ada, I was very pleased and honored to be a guest on your podcast, the Beats Per Minute podcast, season finale of season 1. So we're going to make sure that, we send that information out in the next newsletter. I have a whole newsletter that goes along with these topics, but we'll get to that. I don't want to run your ears off with promo talk. SK, my man, my mellow, get on the mic because you eat Jell-O. Have you had a Jell-O lately? What's been going on with you, sir? Just want to shout you out.
I don't really eat Jell-O. I'm not really a Jell-O fan. And since I stopped eating pork many moons ago, and I always remember like, yo, there's pork in Jell-O, gelatin. Melted bones. But anyway, I'm excited to be here and talk about bones and Jell-O. And, tell me about this word fuddy-duddy also real quick. Like, what does that mean? Fuddy-duddy.
Are you unfamiliar or you just want to hear me try to explain it?
Little both.
I don't know. Fuddy-duddy to me is sort of like shishi-foo-foo.
Well,
does that make sense?
Like talking another language.
like fuddy-duddy, like uppity, like, snobbish.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I honestly had no idea.
Fuddy-duddy. Let's see what the internet says. Fuddy-duddy. I don't even know how you spell it. Dutty, okay.
I was thinking that too, but I was like, instead of TT.
Fuddy-duddy, according to the dictionary, whatever, a person who is old-fashioned and fussy. Fussy.
Okay.
So maybe an old fuddy-duddy, like a Karen, or an old-fashioned person. Get off my lawn, that kind of guy. It's a fuddy-duddy.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
All right, thank you for explaining it.
All right, no problem. I'm happy to. You put in the chat, fuddy-duddy. I don't know. You never heard anyone hear that? Anyway, Mama Knight in the house. What?
Hey. What up?
Hello, Mama Knight. We all love Mama Knight. And so Ada, we appreciate you. I'll send people that we had a great conversation on the Beats Per Minute podcast. This is pretty cool because I want to talk about a couple things that I did during the last week that I think are relevant to the topics that we talk about, which is, hip hop I always wanted to say hip hop on a higher level. You remember Double XL magazine?
Yeah. Was that their slogan?
That was their slogan.
I knew it was familiar.
And for a while they lived up to it, but then after a while they, when they kind of went away from print and then now it's online. I don't even know what they do online. I don't pay attention to them at all. I don't think anybody does. But I always wanted to steal their tagline because I thought it was really great, like hip hop on a higher level. And I haven't, as wordy as I can be, as much as my spectacular vernacular can be, I haven't figured out a better tagline to kind of explain what we do.
Yeah, just steal theirs.
I'm just gonna steal theirs. Like, what are you gonna do? Yasmina says, this is what I tune into these live streams for, to increase my vocabulary.
Hey.
This is a nice side bonus. I don't advertise that. We should let people know. Yeah, come over here and get your SAT scores up.
Every week we'll have new vocab. Yeah.
I mean, you're a wordsmith, sir. And of course, I've been known to dabble in the literary arts. So who knows? We'll be able to.
We'll smith a little bit of words, a little bit here and there.
So in this section, see, now I'm going to do segments. See, we're building this show up. This is technically the first episode. We're going to have guests. I've got some super dope guests coming up. I even have the idea to like tackle some serious topics, not just, again, it's not just about the entertainment or the gossipy stuff, but like some serious stuff and how hip hop intertwines into it. Jared Joyce says the double XL was I like double XL better. Well, at the time, I guess. I think the source obviously set the standard. And the double XL came in, and I just think at that time they were like, we're gonna do more long form, we're gonna be serious, and it's we're kind of take it to a higher level. What bugs me out with the source is that its tagline originally was hip hop, something culture and politics, right? It was like music, culture, and politics.
I don't remember that.
It was early. It wasn't their original when it was like a one pager, but at some point they were like, I can't remember the exact saying. I'd have to look it up, but it definitely mentioned culture and politics. And then at some point, like that left their lexicon, like that wasn't their tagline anymore. But it showed me that like early on, the source had it right. The source was the Bible. We know that they obviously did great work for a long time, and then they fell off and kind of died. I thought Double XL was, when it came out, was a little bit more journalistic. I was a journalist, so I was like, oh, this is some good writing. This is some good stuff. And I think they were trying to take it really serious and give it the literary, zhuzh that it deserved.
This guy's just,
zhuzh it up. You don't know zhuzhing it up? I don't know how to spell it, so I can't look it up. So this is a little section I want to talk about. This is the segment. We're going to have the show is going to be, eventually I'm going to get it together. It's going to be segments, right? We're going to have like, oh, this is the opening banter with SK or the co-host. You could be the co-host. Patreon.com/Manny Faces. Look, I forgot to put this up.
Talking to you, not me.
No, you're not even a patron. Oh, yeah, you are a patron. I'll take that back. I think we each patronize each other.
Yes, true.
But you could sit alongside us live and direct. Anyone could participate in the comment section. But if you want to be more than a comment peasant, why would I do that? Why would I insult my comment people? No, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
We could bring you on, but that's sort of part of the, Anyway, the segment I'm trying to get into is this one. Okay, so what had happened was, that's a new one. That's new. You didn't see that last week. So I want to tell you about a couple of things that I experienced over the past week. I actually went to a couple of really, really interesting events. I don't always get out that much. SK, if you have anything to bring to the table, and anyone in the chat room comments who are certainly not peasants, you are my brethren and sister and my equals. And even if you don't patronize the patron, you can still have your 2 cents. I want this to be interactive. So if you've come across anything really, really dope, hip hop wise, maybe you saw a great concert or a great artist, we'll take that. But you know what we're looking for. We're looking for like things a little bit outside the box. So please throw in your 2 cents and tell us and share with us, what you might have come across. I want to talk about three events that I went to in the past 2 weeks. And SK, have you seen anything along these lines? Anything like you're eager to tell people about?
I was just thinking about it. One of the first things that comes to mind, it's not really somewhat related to a hip hop concert, but really, like you were saying, the more outside the box, more kind of different thing,
right?
Is so I got to kind of re-link up, see my boy Nabil after years. Mm-hmm. And where we met up was the Nas and Wu-Tang concert a few weeks ago in Brooklyn, the New York State of Mind tour. But so that, of course, that was a dope experience too, and cool being there and saw a bunch of people I know, and enjoyed the show and everything. But really, what comes to mind specifically about that is this is somebody who, in some ways, definitely kind of gave me a start in the New Brunswick hip hop scene, who connected me with a whole bunch of people, and who, even outside of just my own experiences, he threw a bunch of shows in New Brunswick, New Jersey. So he used to do a weekly Sunday night show called Fat Caps and Shell Toes, and it would bring all the B-boys, B-girls, all the breakers out. Nice. Then he started a show called Lyrical Graffiti, which I had the pleasure of co-hosting and kind of hosting when he wasn't there after a while. And it was a long-running show. And they had a live band, MCs, kind of freestyling or performing, right, a DJ and stuff like that. But anyway, nowadays, he actually is just opening a photo gallery, a photography gallery, basically an art gallery
Hmm.
up in Connecticut where he's at now.
Oh, that's
And
dope.
just won a prize. I just thought of this now when you asked or when you brought up, so I don't have it in front of me, but I can find it later. But he won like photography of the year or photo of the year award earlier this year, and he's entered into a bigger contest, a bigger thing with that now. Also, he's already going to be published in a book because of that and all that.
Who is this now? How can we big him up?
This is Nabil West. His company used to be Underground EXP. But this is Nabil West, and I'll find
Let's find the link and share that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, could find the website or pull it up or share the link and stuff like that for sure.
Happy to do that, and we'll send it out on the newsletter as well.
All right.
You know, that brings me up. It's funny you say that. I'm gonna. It's not funny. It's not funny.
Funny how?
Funny how? Like funny like a clown? No, because I was gonna bring up one thing, and I'll come back to it. Shouts to my ATLians. Shouts to folks that are in Atlanta where I am. But you mentioned New Brunswick, right? And especially, I want people in the comments section to shout out like their local hip hop scenes. You know, for years I covered New York's hip hop scene, independent scene, and nothing like it as far as I'm concerned. I've been to a lot of places. It's still, you know, to me, the number one place. I've actually got some a cool thing that's coming up in the New York. Two things that are happening in the New York City area. We're going to talk about in the next segment. So if you're in the New York City area, stay tuned because you're going to want to know about these two events. But New York scene was big, and it's always been big, even when hip hop went elsewhere. And Houston was big, and Atlanta was big. You know, New York always had this really fascinating independent scene. But what I love about what you just said, like New Brunswick, and shouts to my man Jay Webb, and you know, out there in Dayton, Ohio, like there's music scenes everywhere, there's hip hop scenes everywhere, and I really like to hear and see, you know, and know about your city, your place, your region. And I say that because this weekend, so I'm in Atlanta now. And so I'm able to go to places like Chattanooga. Chattanooga. Now, Chattanooga is not that far from Atlanta. It's only about an hour and a half, 2 hours away, depending on traffic. And I was blessed and honored and privileged to speak last year at the Chattanooga Hip Hop Summit. And they've been doing this for a couple of years now. And it started real small, but it's growing and getting pretty big. And what I loved about it is, you know, they brought me in to speak about, I kind of spoke to a group of like sort of the organizers of the event and some folks from different community organizations, Urban League and the Tourism Bureau and, you know, the mayor's office and folks like that, which I loved because I was like, hey, you know, y'all are supporting this hip hop summit, but let me really, and sometimes they do it because, you know, they know how influential hip hop is. They want to put their organization's name on something, but they don't always understand like, oh, we're gonna have a good panel discussions, we're gonna have a little concert, we're gonna have a kids day, but they don't really understand like how much of a good thing they're promoting when the event does such a good job at promoting the positive aspects of hip hop. So I was really happy to go there and tell them about all the ways that hip hop can positively influence the world and all the things that I talk about, and then say that's why I'm honored that y'all are doing this. So I really do like the folks at the Chattanooga Hip Hop Summit, and shouts to them. And this year they had a number of panel events as well. I didn't speak this year, but I went as a guest, and you know I was happy to be invited. And look, they had La Russell there talking about the next level of artistry and how to do things, you know, today, like sort of in a social media landscape. Folks like Math Hoffa, who obviously has the My Expert Opinion podcast, and OGs like Kim Asario, who we mentioned the Source magazine before. She was a executive, you know, editor in chief of the Source magazine. A lot of like old and new, you know, big dogs and big dogettes in the entertainment industry. And I was really impressed with the lineup this year. Dame Dash, of course, the inimitable Damon Dash, co-founder of Rockefeller Records, founder of Rockaware, and you know, has a Paid in Full, you know, put out some independent movies like Paid in Full, was sort of the keynote speaker. They did a big thing with him that night. So I wanted to point that out because, you know, obviously we always look at, or we tend to get fed, we have no choice but to look at who's doing what in the big cities, you know, the coastal cities, you know, the New York, the LAs, the Atlantas. But I love to see like a local scene kind of getting it together and organizing and putting together good events that help young folks who want to be artists, who might want to, there was a panel there didn't have anything to do with being an artist. It was all about starting a business, like the legal ramifications, what you have to do financially, how to gain capital, how to get your banking right, how to get your LLCs and all that stuff. And it was done by a banker. So of course, we want to tell you how, at least you could bank with us. But he dropped gems. He was super dope. And he's like, you might hear about getting an LLC on TikTok, but this, everyone's like, just get an LLC. And then your life is complete. There's a lot of people peddling the LLC game. But there's more to it than that. If you really want to have an ongoing business, even if you want to make it your side hustle or whatever the case may be. I'm a solo business owner. I have an LLC, a real one, like, they're not all real, but but I also got to pay, myself. So I have to make sure I have a payroll system and an accounting system, and I have to pay payroll taxes. And then I have to, file as a S Corp and all these things. And there's just more to it than that. If you really want to kind of have a real deal hustle going on.
You said you're an escort? Is that what you said?
I'm an escort. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Just check.
Yeah. I'm on onlymans.com.
All right. Hit that button.
Wait. Oh yeah.
Hey, yo.
So anyway, so it was real dope, and it was real great to see that obviously they had panels on how to, filmmaking and, doing videos and production. They had a great production panel. Hit Kid was there, a lot of, known producers and such. And I loved it because they were talking about publishing and securing rights and getting, what is it? You've done it when you've gotten your songs placed in like.
Yeah. Like sync licensing.
Right.
Placements.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you've had music on commercials, and you had your music in the Wu-Tang show, right?
Yep. Yeah. Wu-Tang Saga on Hulu.
That's right, on Hulu. The Hulu. So
too. Yeah. Yep.
So it's great to hear people talk about those ways of getting paid or getting put on. And so anyway, shouts out to the Chattanooga Hip Hop Fest. They had a great
yeah, that's dope. That's really
great time.
And if I may shamelessly promo again, because you just reminded me, I shouted out Nabil and everything that he's been doing and accomplishing, but this is definitely related, and it's pretty much in a way exactly what you were just talking about. The Hip Hop 50 New Brunswick Committee, we did the event on September 23rd that had, the the original 4 elements represented there and all that. Yep. We're doing our next event soon that's not anything like that event, and this event is on the 26th, next Thursday. It's at the Dragon Room, new spot in New Brunswick. Anybody knows where Sushi Room is? It's right there. It's where Sushi Room used to be. Right on Avenue on the hill, right by the train station. But this one is an industry mixer, and it's they're having free signups for a one-on-one marketing consultation. And my brother Monk, who who's on the committee with me, who threw that event on September 23rd, he is working with the Rutgers Small Business Organization, basically. So nice. He's heavy, having people there representing, having, like I said, signups for a pretty dope marketing consultation, like a pretty, established dude for it. Oh. And also, what else are we doing? Oh yeah, and also anybody that picked the art reward, the art print, will have them there at the event too, so you can pick them up, especially if you're local or in the area.
If you're in the New Brunswick area or anywhere in Jersey, and again, you and me tend to be New York, New Jersey, Atlanta centric. So, forgive us for anyone else who's not in these areas. I want to build this up so that no matter where you are, you're getting some kind of information for something nearby you. I got some stuff later on the show for folks that are in LA, Houston, Miami, a bunch of other places. So stay tuned. New Brunswick, if you're in the New Brunswick area, want to support this independent scene, just follow you on Facebook. You post everything, right? Is that a good place to get you? On Instagram, maybe?
Yeah, Instagram, definitely. Silent Night is busy.
Okay. That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
All right. Ada says, and once again, shouts to Ms. Thursday in the house. Ada says, Atlanta area again. Yeah. Shout outs to Elevate Atlanta. They had some really dope events happening over the last few months. She meant weeks. Meant weeks. But yes, Elevate Atlanta ATL has been doing really great work. Longer conversation about who's doing things in Hip Hop 50. Are they going to still do things in Hip Hop 51? I hope so. I think Atlanta will. Atlanta's shown me some great things since I've been down here. And the Elevate ATL, it's funny you say that. I'm going to big up one of the things that I saw or went to the other day. I can't find it now.
What was it?
I mean, it was part of the Elevate ATL. Oh, here it is. I had the image, so I wanted to put it up.
That's Chattanooga still.
I know what's going on. That was weird. That was weird. We're still working out the kinks here, my friends. That's what we're doing.
Also, you said today was the first episode. I thought last week was the first episode.
No, that was episode 0.
Okay.
All right. Hip hop saved my life. That's a saying that a lot of us say, and it's well known. In the hip hop circles, there'll be a lot. If you're anywhere near attached to hip hop, you're gonna find somebody. You're gonna know somebody that has said this at some point in time. And what I enjoyed about this, and I want to make sure I can show everyone's names. Why can't I show everyone's names? Because of the banner. Okay. Is that part of the Elevate ATL events that were happening in Atlanta was this panel. And King Quick is a b-boy originally from the Bronx, but now been to Florida, now Atlanta area. AOS is originally from Baltimore. He's an MC. Antar Fierce, I think he's based down here. I forget where. Oh, he's from New York as well. And of course, Minister Server, if you are into the sort of elevation of hip hop as a cultural force, who Minister Server is, and you've come across him in your travels, probably works with the Temple of Hip Hop, KRS One's organization, but does a number of things in the education space. He's actually a minister, uses hip hop in his ministry, and is an all around cool cat and good guy doing the work. And moderated, of course, by Shanti Das, who is quite a phenomenal person. In a lot of ways, had a background in the music industry, did a lot of work in the promotions and marketing of artists. She was actually Outkast's promotions and marketing director for, I think, Players Ball, like early Outkast, literally helped, bring them to the level that they are to this day, and has herself gone into the mental health advocacy space. So this was a beautiful coming together of intersection that we talk about, right? Hip hop and mental health. And I've talked about, multiple times how mental health professionals who are hip to the game, right? They understand hip hop, they understand hip hop culture, they understand young people, they understand that connecting to young people through hip hop is a better way to connect to young people in today's society, particularly in communities from where hip hop came, right? Communities of color. It's the cultural language, it's the cultural ethos, it's their lifestyle, their understanding, and the way they look at the world. And if you can connect to that, you get a better shortcut into gaining the insight that you need as a mental health professional, a school counselor. I've interviewed folks like that, and we know that hip hop can do that remarkably well, and probably way underutilized in the mental health pantheon, right? But we're working on that, right? So this was a discussion with artists who are, hip hop for life, hip hop to the core, but also obviously were able to tell their stories as to how their practicing of hip hop literally saved their lives. We could talk about how it kept you out of trouble and kept you off the streets. That's kind of like the one way. But the other way is sort of giving you a self-identity and a self-preservation model and something to strive for, and something to then pass on to others, bring people in and try to create small communities when you're faced with all the trials and tribulations that you might be faced with as, someone growing up in a community that's maybe under-resourced or underserviced or underloved. So it was a fantastic, event. These gentlemen were super well, they were very much able to relay that to folks in the audience, that some were hip hop, most were hip hop kind of oriented, maybe some were not. And we're starting to learn that, there's more to this hip hop thing than just music on the radio and entertainment. There's something here that folks are able to tap into, and maybe as a person in whatever field they might be in, could learn to tap into as well. So it was a dope event. And I just wanted to shout out that these events happen, that these things, occur. We're using hip hop in these ways, and it's not always just the, every day,
That's dope. That sounds like a great event. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So Elevate ATL has put on a number of events. That was one that I went to and I was very happy about. Jay Webb, you're shouting out Dr. Toby Jenkins new book, The Hip Hop Mindset. Dr. Toby's good friend, friend of the room, friend of the show. We will have her on this show. She's going to come on the show. It's I'm giving you a sneak preview of one of our future guests. This is an excellent book. Man, did I think she cracked the code with this book. I'm almost mad I didn't write it myself. So thanks for shouting her out. We will definitely be bringing her on this show. We've talked about it and we are setting it up because as I'm off next week, next Monday, I'll tell you why in a minute. But I won't tell you why. It's a secret. I'm not telling anybody why. But I'm going to be not here next Monday.
Okay.
No, I'm not telling anybody. But then I'm going to give you a reason, something else that's connected. But we've talked about that, and we're going to have that guest on our show. Hey, everyone. I'm going to take a break for 1 minute, literally 60 seconds, because I have a brand new, you might have seen this on Instagram, or you might have seen this on Shorts, but I have a brand new edition of Hip Hop News that's not about dumb-ish.
Oh.
This came out today, and I'm going to share it with you now. Many call it the greatest rap album of all time, and a 35th anniversary vinyl edition is just what OG fans need to keep bringing the noise. I'm Manny Faces, and this is Hip Hop News that isn't about dumb shit. June 28th, 1988. Public Enemy drops It Takes a Nation of Millions to Hold Us Back, the group's second full offering, with iconic classics like Rebel Without a Pause, Bring the Noise, and Don't Believe the Hype. The controlled frenzy of the Bomb Squad production and cuts by Terminator X, backing the commanding presence of Chuck D and the unmistakable force that is Flavor Flav, truly changed the landscape of the genre. To honor this extraordinary album, this re-release will be available in either 2 or 4 LP vinyl, the latter featuring bonus tracks, extensive new liner notes penned by Chuck D, Flavor Flav, Q-Tip, and Questlove, and a 12x12 sticker insert of the instantly recognizable Public Enemy logo. The set drops November 10th, 2023. Pre-orders are available now at all the major platforms as well as on urbanlegends.com. Ain't nobody giving you stuff like this, man. Nobody. Can I just take a moment and give it up for myself?
I'm loving that new series.
Nobody doing it. Nobody doing it like me. It's fine. It's good. No, nobody has to say it. I'm gonna say it for myself. Yeah, tell me. It's like, so that vinyl set is dope, right? It Takes a Nation of Millions. Super influential album, genre changing, I think, right? I mean, we had a whole different sound, a whole different attitude.
Yep.
You remember that album when it dropped? Like how, like where you were in life? And
I do. I was not. I was
weren't like connected.
Young, I feel like I was. Yeah, I didn't. I was definitely not connected.
Yeah.
I went back and listened to it after, basically. But yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, sonically, right? Rebel Without a Pause, like all the way through. Like that's so crazy. The Bomb Squad. Shouts to my man, Keith Shockley.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, the great Hank Shockley, Keith Shockley, part of the Bomb Squad. I know Keith a little bit, and is the big homie.
Yeah, Long Island right there.
That's right, Long Island, baby, Strong Island, where I used to rest. You know what I mean? So, I should have worn my Public Enemy shirt that I was wearing in that video. So yeah, it was it was big for me because we were from Long Island. I had actually followed Public Enemy from their first drop, which was I don't know, My Uzi Weighs a Ton, like that album, like I forget the name of their first album. But this was obviously the one that like shook the world, right? And a lot of people do call it the greatest rap album of all time. The new this vinyl release is crazy. It's like 4 LPs and some bonus songs and new liner notes and all kind of stuff. It's like $250, but if you're into that sort of thing, you can get that. So one other thing I want to shout out as we're still going through our segment, also in Atlanta, because that's where I am. So what do you want me to tell you? But I do want to share information about things that we've done. And again, I want to welcome y'all telling me, sort of things you've gotten into or seen. You can shout them out in the comments section. And if you become a patron, Patreon.com/Manny Faces. I'll bring you on the show. And you know what? Right now, if you want to come on the show, I'll do it for free. Like, we don't have to, we can show you what it's like. If you want to talk right now on the show and you know me from somewhere, hit me on a DM and I'll put you on. We'll get you on right now. And you can tell me something that you might have gotten into or seen something. Ada, if you want to come on and tell me about some of the other Elevate ATL events that you've seen, whatever, just hit me on a DM. Wherever you know me, just hit me on a DM. I'll pay attention. I'll get you in. Meantime, I want to say this was a great idea. And shouts to Brand New Travel in Atlanta. My new friend Rachel, who runs this wonderful organization, has put together a thing called the Hip Hop Supper Club. I thought this was brilliant. It was a small group. You can see the picture right there. And it's a bug. There's a bug in here. and what it was I thought this was a great idea. This was also in conjunction with the Museum of Design in Atlanta. So if you're in the Atlanta area, the Museum of Design has put together a lot of like hip hop 50 events as well. They had a whole exhibition on hip hop architecture, which I think is super dope. It was curated by Sekou Cook, who I don't have his book here somewhere still. Getting unpacked from the move, but Sekou Cook put a great book together called Hip Hop Architecture. There's a lot of really interesting, smart intersections with architecture and hip hop throughout the generations. And then the Museum of Design Atlanta put together this great exhibition that showcased it. Brilliant stuff. And I went to a couple of events there earlier, during the year. There was a hip hop and wine pairing event, which was like super innovative and cool. And this is the stuff I love. I love the intersections.
Yeah, I remember you telling me about the club. I didn't know it passed already.
Yeah, so this was great. This was the Hip Hop Scholars Supper Club. Shouts to the great Regina Bradley, Dr. Regina Bradley from down here in Atlanta, who I have followed. She has done so much great work on the academic side, taking the history of Southern hip hop, Southern rap, Outkast especially. She's written books. She's just the GOAT when it comes to this stuff. And I was able to meet her in person. We knew each other online, and it was a really great event. So I just want to say that what they did was they put together this great event where it wasn't many of us. It was I'd say less than 20 people there, and I think it was only 8 public seats. The rest were the scholars and the museum execs and all that stuff. And there were 8 of us that were I'm interested enough in hip hop to pay $100 to sit in a room full of other people interested about hip hop and some nerds, with love. I say that because I'm a nerd too. So, and they're let's talk about it. But it was fantastically put together. It was a wonderful, I'm showing you the pictures. Super class. We went from ashy to classy. This is me, Regina Brad. Look at us chilling.
Look at that. Nice picture.
It's a good picture. And, folks from the museum, this was what it looked like. There I am at the table with strangers. This is the chef, this dude right here out of Atlanta named Demetrius Brown. Brilliant in his pairings. It was, again, every dish was set up with a to pair with a song. You feel me? Oh man, it was so good.
That's cool.
And so it was Killer Mike, Outkast, T.I., different songs, but then sort of inspired a dish that had to go with it. And it was really dope. And he's making some noise down here. That's cool. And we ate like kings and queens. It was fantastic. It was a beautifully, look how fancy this ricey corn was. There I was saying something important. I wasn't about to slap my friend. This looks crazy.
No, it looks like you're pontificating.
Okay, yeah. I hope so. Because it was I was like, why I oughta? And it was a really great event. Very cool. And then, of course, there's Rachel. And of course, there's Regina. And of course, people, talked about hip hop. And then the scholars. Look at this, the fanciness that I was involved in. This was fantastic.
Is this a gravy teapot?
Yeah, it was like a whole thing. I can't even tell you. I wish I had the menu. I forgot to save the menu. Yeah. And that was it. That was the whole crew. It was a dope event. And I just wanted to say, I know there were people there, of hip hop, within hip hop, that kind of, really enjoyed it. But I know that there were a couple of people there who either were sort of casual hip hop fans, but because of the discussions going on, really learned something, picked up something new. I had a great conversation with a friend I met, a friend, I forget his name, but we stayed in contact who's a filmmaker, a writer. He was on strike, because it was during the strike. And, I believe his wife, who was works with the art program with arts and children, and how to obviously use the arts to help children who are going through traumatic situations. And I'm like, oh my God, I know so many people that do that with hip hop. Like, we should connect. I got to put you onto some people and we could make some connections. So all in all, it was a great event. And shouts to brand new travel in Atlanta who put that together. The Hip Hop Scholars Club. I thought it was pretty dope. I want to go back to one thing I said earlier. Shanti Das, who was the one who put together the hip hop mental health, hip hop saved my life situation, also has a new podcast called The Mebo Show. MI for mind, BO for body, to address health and hip hop. And I definitely want to talk to Shanti on this show. But of course, she put out a podcast, and her first season was very hip hop oriented, mental health. She talked to Eric Sermon, you see right there, about his health, heart health, because Eric Sermon had a heart attack some time back. She's also brought up DMC, who often talks about his mental health issues. She's had him on the show, and a bunch of other people there. So shouts to Shanti Das. You can follow her right here on Instagram. Tell her Manny Faces sent you. Shanti Das 404 of course, for Atlanta. And again, she's doing a lot of things out here. These are not my streaming glasses. I got streaming glasses that look exactly the same, but they're not. Anyway, Shanti Das 404 on Instagram. Check her out and follow all the things she does, especially if you're interested in obviously mental health, self-care. The Mebo Show is her new endeavor. All right, go back to the comments. Shouts to Natalie Crew, my day zero friend. Appreciate you, Nat. Thank you. You the back end, right? She says the back end is vicious. Looked like I was gonna be like, yeah, I oughta, Outkast isn't the greatest group of all time. It's Run DMC,
A New Yorker in Atlanta story.
I know, right? It's probably Wu-Tang, but that's a longer conversation.
That's my favorite, and I don't even have favorite anything, but that's my favorite group.
Yeah, I mean, best group of all time. It's hard to say.
Yep.
I've heard good arguments for all three of those.
Oh, absolutely.
Outkast, Run DMC, and Wu-Tang.
Absolutely. All amazing groups.
It has to be one of them.
You think so?
It has to be one of them.
Anybody else is in that convo then?
Nah. Like, seriously, nah. I don't think so. But who am I? I'm just a guy. Wait, what's happening here? Okay. So anyway, I think that's it from the segment that we like to call That's that.
I like it. Very
good. Now, I haven't developed a fancy video for the next segment, which is, what's going to happen is, because I do want to highlight, obviously, things that are happening moving forward or coming up in the next, time frame.
What we got?
I was gonna play another news that ain't about hip hop. Hip hop news is not about dumb-ish.
Do it.
Yeah, I'll do one more. This is sort of an event since we're talking about things that are coming in the future. Check this out, y'all. Ease back on down the road, because the Wiz is back. I'm Manny Faces, and this is hip hop news that isn't about dumb shit. Academy, Grammy, and Emmy Award-winning artist Common and Grammy-nominated MC Lyte have joined the co-producing team behind the 2024 revival of The Wiz. The original adaptation of The Wizard of Oz was made famously funky with a cast of black superstars, including Diana Ross, Nipsey Russell, and of course, Michael Jackson. The production was updated for TV as The Wiz Live in 2015 and starred Shanice Shantae as Dorothy, Queen Latifah as The Wiz, and other luminaries like David Alan Grier and Neo. Common also showed up as the bouncer to Emerald City, and now he and MC Lyte have joined as part of the revival's production team. The revival kicks off on September 23rd, 2023 in Baltimore, and it'll tour the U.S. before settling in for a run on New York's Broadway.
Manny Faces.
You sick for this one.
Hey, that's right. Okay.
Yep. So I think that's actually coming to Atlanta too. I think I just saw today.
Yeah,
I know. Was that? I know they're doing like Boston and then DC and then eventually New York, but I didn't know all the in betweens. And I think I just saw today that is coming to Atlanta. I gotta say one more thing. I keep going back to Shanti Das, and because there's so many things, and I was supposed to do this in a more betterer kind of way, but I'd be remiss if I left it out. Like I said, she used to work in the music industry, hardcore. She was a super promoter, marketing executive. Worked with all the big names, all the big labels during like the 90s when everything was popping. And she left the music industry in part due to her, personal well-being, right? And she talks about this, but this is also, so she's the one that did the hip hop and mental health panel for Elevate ATL, also has the Mebo Show podcast, and also has this organization called Silence the Shame. We exist to empower and educate communities on mental health and wellness. With your help, we can make a difference, learn more, and get involved. So folks who are with us, we're always, my hope is that folks who are of a certain age, and I think of a certain mindset, the kind of folk paying attention to us on this show, are looking for ways to say, I love hip hop culture, and I know that it can make a positive difference. Despite what's on the radio and despite what the new kids might be, I disconnect with all that. We know what it can do. And I've said last week, and I say eternally and endlessly and ad nauseum, that's a good one too.
You're right.
That we shouldn't be
nauseating.
We shouldn't be nauseating with the amount of time we spend as elders complaining, criticizing, breaking down, diminishing the music of today's youth. Now, it has issues. We could talk about it. We could talk about negative content and vibrations, and I get it, and I talk about it, and we can have those conversations. But at the same time, we have to be uplifting those who are doing great work in connecting hip hop to a higher purpose, right? And so when we talk about someone like Shanti Das, who's been in the music business forever, knows the connection between artistry and self-help and self-preservation, dealt with it herself as a music business executive, and then stepped back from the music business to say, whoa, this is more important. That's hip hop, right? When we say, oh, I'm waiting for my artists or, someone on the radio to, talk about mental health and that, why are we waiting for artists on the radio? We have people who are hip hop. They're hip hop from the communities, right? From your community. They're out there in those communities, and they're saying, I have a way to make things better. We should be exalting them, uplifting them, and connecting folks with them. So I'm not saying it's like, I don't really know her that much, but I see a few things she's doing. I'm impressed. I'm passing it along. I'll let you make the decisions. Silence the Shame is her organization. The Mebo Show is her podcast. And, if you're looking for, as you should be, I think at a certain age, and Minister Server talked about this at the panel. We're of a certain age. We got to figure out ways to bring hip hop into the things that we do as like grown folk, right? Whether we're teachers, whether we're educators, whether we're doctors or professionals, you know what I mean? SK, even what you did where you said, listen, I'm going to stop performing for a little bit, but that's not going to stop me from organizing events that showcase the history of my city's involvement with hip hop, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there was multitude of reasons of stopping performing for now, but part of it was definitely it wasn't great. It was more recently wasn't great for my mental health and stuff like that, like a lot of the stress behind the scenes and all that stuff. And I was like, you know what, I got to take a step back, like I said, for different reasons, array of reasons, but definitely part of it was like, once I did it, I was like, yeah, this is definitely the right decision.
Yeah. Right. Yep. Right. And it didn't stop you from being involved or, what I mean?
Yeah. I put out, like I always say before, my elder put out the call for the Hip Hop 50 New Brunswick, did that. And but yeah, still doing and I guess on topic with this and of what's coming up, there's another event, another New Brunswick, so some from our New Brunswick people, Sunday, the 22nd. So this coming Sunday, 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. Empowerment event at the Elks Lodge right there on Livingston Avenue, right downtown New Brunswick. October 22nd, 2 to 7 p.m. And it's put on by Sharpened Minds. So shout to Sharpened Minds, shout to Lena and the amazing work that she does and that organization does. The event says a feel-good fundraiser to honor community heroes, businesses, and nonprofit organizations that strive to provide inspiration, hope, and positivity into the community. The proceeds for the event will help support our initiatives. So that's the Sharpened Minds initiatives. They have vendors, food. They're encouraging people to wear any style, any era of hip hop clothing, basically, kind of thing.
Nice.
So real cool event next Sunday. This coming Sunday, October 22nd, 2 to 7. Excuse me, 2 to 7. Time again, Manny. Come on.
No, it's all good. I'm gonna make sure that I add that to the newsletter. And I'm saying that because I'm now plugging the newsletter. So what I try to do in a newsletter is, if you're listening to this and you're liking, like, oh wow, these are great events. Oh my God, this is great. I didn't hear about this, because we're talking about what happened, right? A couple things that are happening. You want to be up on this kind of stuff. I would love to share with you that information. So I'm building up the excitement here. We have a newsletter that is.
Drum roll.
I know. I don't have a drum roll or air horn.
Box drum roll.
Right. So if you go to mannyfaces.substack.com, it's a free newsletter. I put it out fairly regularly, not regularly enough, but your support will help do that. You sign up. I feel obligated. The more people that are on there, I got to keep putting them out. But what we do is we definitely highlight the latest and greatest of events that are happening. So, for instance, the events you're talking about in New Brunswick, but you might be in St. Louis, and we recently put out some events that are happening in St. Louis. You might be in Atlanta, and we recently put out some events that are happening in Atlanta. And I'm pretty sure that you're not going to find anyone else doing this kind of work, putting out this information. So you'll get a newsletter. It'll look like this. And then you'll see that, and then we'll talk about this. This is any educators in the house, anybody who is interested in the intersection of hip hop and education. We have a fantastic conference happening next month. I'll be in the LA area, Long Beach. There's so much drama in the LBC, and I will be there participating in the drama of hip hop and education. We have a great conference that's happening out there. If you follow me, you ask me, you hit me up, you ask me for information, I'll give you information. We're looking for sponsors right now. You can sponsor the whole event. It's a brilliant conference. It's been happening for 3 years. It's the Global Conference on Hip Hop Education. We have some international folk presenting. That's happening. So this is the kind of stuff you're going to find in this wonderful newsletter. This is the thing I was telling you about before. If you're in New York City, well, no, it's too late for you in New York City, but you get everything in New York City. I'm so mad I wasn't in New York this year.
Atlanta coming up, right?
Yeah, Atlanta's coming up. This Friday, I don't even know, 21st in Atlanta.
Saturday.
The Universal Hip Hop Tour. Oh, I'll talk about it while I'm here. This is what we do. Oh, wow, that's crazy.
We got coming up.
Wow, what's going on with them? Anyway, so the Universal Hip Hop Museum, you might have heard of them. They've obviously building a giant physical home for the Universal Hip Hop Museum in New York City, in the Bronx, up in the Bronx where the people are fresh. Shout out to my man Steve Ortiz, who used to rock with me on the New York Hip Hop Report every Sunday night from 10 p.m. to 11 on Blog Talk Radio. Anyway, you remember Steve Ortiz, Natalie? Natalie's still out there? You remember my man Steve Ortiz? He got married. He's chilling up in the Bronx where the people are fresh.
I remember him from that show, from your show.
Yeah, that's my guy, man. So anyway, so they're building a physical thing. It's a big, long project. It's already like a couple years when it was supposed to be open. It's a huge development in New York City. There's going to be apartments and stores, but it's also the home of the Universal Hip Hop Museum. And I respect what they do. In the meantime, they put out a lot of pop-ups. They've worked with Mass Appeal, which is the media outlet that's helped put out documentaries this year on Hip Hop 50, did the big concert in conjunction with Universal Hip Hop Museum at Yankee Stadium. That whole thing was like a a whole like, conglomerate action. And they've put up a lot of pop-ups and done a lot of, small exhibits in New York City. But now they're taking the show on the road. So you're able to go check them out. October 21st in Atlanta, November 4th in Houston, November 11th in LA, November 18th in Charlotte, and apparently December 5th through the 9th in Miami. I'm not sure why you can't go to the website right now, but if you go to the website at some other time, I've seen it earlier today, I saw it. You can go to uhmm.org/tour and get more information. But what you could do is just go to mannyfaces.substack.com and subscribe to this newsletter and get all this cool, funky information whenever you need it. It's simple. No one's giving it to you like me. But you got to subscribe. You got to be in it to win it, as they say. As they said with the lottery. The Powerball lottery that I almost won. I didn't almost win. I just, nobody almost wins. So that's it. What are you gonna say? Sorry.
UHHM.org, right? Was it
Universal Hip? Oh, maybe it's UHHM. Maybe I misspelled it.
Yeah, UHHM. I just found it.
All right. Universal Hip Hop Museum. No wonder.
Yeah.
Whatever. I'm doing a news that hip hop news that isn't about dumb-ish just for them, so I'll make it up to them. Also in the newsletter, you will find hip hop news that isn't about dumb shit. And in this last episode, I put a lot of stuff in. Brazilian artist creates graffiti for the visually impaired. He's doing graffiti, but it's braille in it. It's brilliant. Again, the St. Louis Art Museum has a whole exhibition that was in the Baltimore Art Museum. So again, don't think they were just New York and Atlanta over here. I'll tell you all about what's going on around the country. Natalie Crew, who's in a check-in. I want to make sure I mention her event. I don't exactly know what it is. What's happening here? I called it up. Global Hip Hop Reading Room. That's what it is. Global Hip Hop Reading Room is gonna go down, and you want to find out about that. Instagram.com/Global Hip Hop Reading Room. Natalie, tell me about this. Tell me about this event in the chat so I can introduce it properly. I don't completely know what it is. It sounds like it's up my alley. I like hip hop and I like reading, but I didn't properly investigate this. So we'll do that. While you tell me in the comments about that, let's have a bathroom break, everybody. And then we'll be back in 2 or 3 minutes. Okay. It's like a reading group. Self-explanatory, she says. It's not self-explanatory. Well, maybe it is. I'm just stupid. So it's like a reading group. Oh, that's dope. Okay, I like that. Like a book club? Anyway, Global Hip Hop Reading Room. I'm into it. I'm going to find out more about it. And thank you for not leaving until the show's over, even though I just completely botched this whole segment. So that being said, let's have a quick bathroom break, AKA I'm going to refill my drink. Don't leave.
That beat's coming up. That's what that means.
Yeah, but also if you don't want to leave, that's cool because I made it an entertaining bathroom break. You can actually watch it. And I hope you like it either way. Why would you like a bathroom? You'll see what I'm talking about. I'll be right back, y'all. Damn.
Running back to you.
I appreciate y'all. That was my masterpiece of video editing. And I enjoyed that very much. We're here. I appreciate y'all. Stay back. I see the number. I can see the number, and I see y'all didn't go nowhere. So I appreciate y'all. And that's it. The bathroom break. It's like the start of the show. Everyone waits for the bathroom break. Right? Top of the hour. Hour 2. We may not go a full hour. I don't really have that much material. Now, just to tell everyone, let's reset real quick. If you know me, you already know. Hip Hop Can Save America has been around for a while. This podcast is not new. We even did live streams before. There was 1 month a couple years ago that I went live like 4 days out of the week for an entire month. It was madness. I don't know why I did it, but I did it. And it set me up for what we're doing now. So that was great. And that show's been around for a while. You can go back through your podcast archive. Maybe you listen on Spotify or Apple Podcasts and look up Hip Hop Can Save America. And I urge you to do so, just in case you missed one of the live streams. What we're going to be doing is we're going to have interviews. All of those shows, most of them were interviews with folks that are doing innovative things with hip hop, whether it's in education, again, mental health, health and wellness, science and technology, the fine arts, politics and social justice, a big part of what I work on, spirituality. There's a lot of intersections between hip hop, and that's what we cover. So if you go back through the archives, you're going to find a ton of shows that are really interesting and informative and entertaining. And then the last 6 or so were also on YouTube. So I've been building up the YouTube. If you're watching on Facebook, I appreciate you. Come over to YouTube because I'm not going to be on Facebook anymore. Don't tell Facebook because they'll shadow ban me. Shh. But come on over to YouTube where most of the people are here, and I appreciate you for doing that. Subscribe. Make sure your notifications are on. May not always go on Monday. I may have some special editions or special reports, spur of the moment stuff. So please make sure that you're subscribed. Don't I have a thing? Hold on. Boom. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. I don't know if you heard about this, but
And the Best Actor Oscar goes to Manny Faces.
Thank you.
I remember that night so well. I remember that.
I'm just waiting to use that drop. So one of the good things, speaking about, going back to Natalie Crew, thank you. The Hip Hop Reading Room. Each month, the Global Hip Hop Reading Room holds an online 1-hour reading group where we read a piece of material about hip hop culture, whether that be an article, a chapter, a video lecture, or a photographic collection. We share thoughts and ideas on the material. It's a book club for hip hop, which is brilliant and something I always wanted to do. And, believe me, I could find notes where I wrote 7 years ago, Hip Hop Book Club, but, I can only do so much. But I like the idea and I want to support them. So I'm following them. What is it? Global Hip Hop Reading Room, something on Instagram. We're going to find them and spread love. Speaking about awards, can I tell you, some of y'all got an email if you're on the mailing list at mannyfaces.substack.com. You also got I was imploring you. Yasmina, good one. Imploring. I was imploring you.
I like that word.
It also like sounds like aggressive. Like implorer.
Implore you.
I don't even know her. So you
Hey, yo.
So I was imploring people to vote for Hip Hop Can Save America. This you don't understand. This podcast is acclaimed already. It's on the list. It's on the recommended materials list at the Harvard Graduate School of Education, and it's been included in textbooks. I have a textbook up here, right on my shelf. It's hidden away. I'll get it next time because I don't want to get up. And it's going to be in a couple more hip hop collegiate level textbooks as a resource. It's dope. It also means I got to keep doing it, which is really annoying, because like now it's in a book and someone's going to look for the book and they're going to say, well, he doesn't do the podcast anymore. I can't have that. So now I got to keep doing it. Great. But anyway, it's fine. But we were also up for awards. Now I work on Newsbeat. I work on other podcasts. I make podcasts for a living. My company makes podcasts. If you or your company wants podcasts, holler at me.
Yes.
But on some professional stuff, like not some like I just want to like me and my friends want to sit together and make jokes and be a podcast. Y'all can do that on your own. But one of the things I asked folks to do was to vote for. We were up for in the music category the Signal Awards. The Signal Awards is a pretty prestigious like podcast award ceremony thing, and NBC News, Audible, NPR, like all kind of top level, iHeartRadio, all type of top level, top tier companies are up for these awards. And we were up for an award. We submitted and we were put in a music category. It was between us and two other podcasts. We were top 3. We were finalists in these giant awards that I'm sure anyone and their mother who does a music podcast put up their podcast to this award ceremony. And I asked everyone to vote for the listener's choice. I wanted to win the award, the regular award, but we also had the opportunity to be the listener's choice in that category. And I will say that we did not win on our merits. It's fine. We were tied for bronze, which to me is like second place.
Tied for bronze.
Yeah, you're tied for third, then there's only one first.
Tied for bronze. Yeah, wouldn't that be tied for silver then?
Yes, they did it in a weird way, and I kind of called them out on it. It's a longer story, but they were like the show that won was silver, not gold. It was silver, and then the other two, me and the other show, were tied for bronze.
Okay.
Right. So now last year I won bronze for for Newsbeat. Now on the shelf, bronze looks like gold. Y'all don't know. That looks gold. So I'm like, all right, I'll take gold. I'll take bronze. It looks like gold. Anyway, we won bronze.
Mm-hmm.
So it was fine. And we did win the Listener's Choice Award. So I want to thank anyone who voted. Y'all actually like came through. Like, I don't like doing the vote thing. I don't like asking people to vote. I don't like asking you to sign for Patreon.
You're talking about this year. Not you're not talking about the Newsbeat bronze last year, but this year.
Yeah.
Won the listener's choice, viewer's choice. All right,
it did. It won the listener's choice. Y'all did the damn thing and came through. And so my little company, Manny Faces Media, that produces other podcasts, but also produces this one, is now in 2 years. I won 2 different awards for 2 different podcasts. And I'm like a one-man show over here. I mean, it's pretty good, pretty impressive. But yeah. So thanks, y'all. I appreciate it. They're starting to recognize. The reason why all that happens is because we do dope stuff talking about hip hop in ways that can improve humanity. And also, make a fun party night with your friends. Because your favorite rapper is trash.
Now, this hip hop party card game ain't for kids, and it ain't trivia. In fact, it's disrespectful because your favorite rapper is trash. I'm Manny Faces, and this is hip hop news that isn't about dumb shit. University of Dope is a black and woman-owned operation founded by two college friends, and from its humble beginnings, now sits on the shelves of one of the nation's largest retailers. Instead of right or wrong answers, this game inspires debates and conversations about hip-hop that'll engage, delight, and enrage true fans of the music and culture. But it's all in good fun, as co-founder A.V. Perkins told me.
You know, when you're with your family, you're not holding there's no holds bars, right? So you're really just giving it like, oh, well, Jay-Z and Ether and, you know, all of that stuff. So you kind of like, go, we wanted people to have that same feeling. The nostalgia, the fun, the reminiscence of it all.
So pick up University of Dope online or at Target and peep my whole interview with A.V. Perkins on YouTube.
Shouts to A.V. Perkins. Shouts to the whole University of Dope crew. I love them. I love their product. I love their vibe. I love everything about them.
I still gotta pick. I still gotta get one.
I got one here.
Yeah, send me that.
I gave one to shouts to Dr. Lauren Kelly, our friend from Rutgers University. I gave her a pair because when we did the podcast, we did a secret podcast project up there in the wilderness. We played University of Dope like relentlessly for 3 days at this getaway that we did, this little retreat, and it was fantastic, fun stuff. University of Dope. Christmas is coming up. If you celebrate Christmas and you like to give gifts for this time of year, I recommend University of Dope. They're my peoples, and I support them greatly. Let's talk about a couple things that are coming up before we lose people. Like you.
Me? Yeah.
You know about these guys?
Sleepy. Yes, Freestyle Mondays. I know these guys. I know these people's.
Let me tell you.
20-year anniversary.
22. They get one of these. Again, New York centric. If you have great dope, not just a concert or a show, unless it's something special, send me your information. Again, conferences. When you hear about Freestyle Mondays, you'll understand why it's kind of on that sort of next level of event. Community events for the kids. Stuff that's integrating, again, any of these intersectionalities of hip hop. I love to spread the word. We'll put them in the newsletter. We'll spread the word. If it's your event or like Natalie did, if it's someone you know about, let us know. This one here, if you are anywhere in New York City, I've said this for years. If you know me, Natalie Crew, you know I go back. I've been talking about Freestyle Mondays for 10 of the 22 years that they've been around. And I've been saying this is legitimately one of the best times you could have if you go out and seek entertainment in the world. I mean, it's a wonderful, long-lasting showcase that's happened in New York City for 22 years, where there will be it's a game show, essentially, freestyle battle between randomly chosen pairings of contestants who have signed up to freestyle battle each other. There's a live band. It's a whole audience vibe. There's a DJ, but the live band rocks. Two contestants will come up. Shouts to Corey James Gray. Y'all might know him as Ill Spoken. Shouts to the mighty Mariella, the OGs of the event. You'll have two folks come up that freestyle battle off of a randomly chosen topic. They'll spin a wheel. It's randomly chosen. It'll be like food group. You're a plankton. You're a shark. Go.
Yep.
And these brilliant, listen, these are some of the most brilliant people I've ever met in my life. They will battle off the top, straight up, didn't come in knowing the topic, didn't come in knowing anything. The band is killing it. And they'll battle as those two personas or whatever it is they get chosen. Mm-hmm. And it will be entertaining. It will be inventive. It'll be eloquent. It'll be funny. It'll be harsh. It'll be exciting. It'll be dramatic. And it'll be loving all at the same time. It's the best thing I've ever witnessed in hip hop. I love it. If you're in New York City, please go see my friends at Freestyle Mondays. They're having the 22nd year. They don't do it very often now. After pandemic, it was weekly for a number of years. Then it went to monthly. Then it kind of faded away after pandemic. But I love that.
That's a Sunday, by the way. But
it's a Sunday. It's fair enough. You know, sometimes Freestyle Mondays has to happen on a Sunday.
Exactly. And I co-sign all that. What Manny just said. Yeah, it's an amazing show. It's so much fun. Like you said, smart, funny, just, the spontaneity, all that stuff. Yeah, absolutely great time. Definitely check that out.
I will look. I don't know if it costs anything to get in, or if it's free. It doesn't matter. I don't care if it's $100. It isn't, but I don't care. Go to it, and I will refund your money personally if you don't enjoy this show. So shouts to my friends at Freestyle Mondays. I hate that I'm in Atlanta and that all these wonderful things are happening in New York. I love what's happening in Atlanta. I do love, I miss Newark, New Jersey. Brick City was doing great things. They've done some great things for Hip Hop 50. New York City obviously has had a plethora of things going on. I miss it. Yasmina says it'd be even more entertaining if SK signed. SK, you never did a Freestyle Mondays?
Nah. I jump on a cypher when they do a cypher at the end or something like that.
Yeah.
And I've ended a bunch of times, but yeah, even though I'm taking a hiatus from performing right now, even when I was performing, like I never did the EOW MC challenge. I never was like and I know both of those events are definitely different than a regular battle, but that's just never been my thing to like sign up for the battles kind of thing. But yeah. Oh, Manny, we frozen. You frozen? I don't know if y'all can see me or hear me. I see Manny frozen on my side though. I guess you hear me. Manny. Free Manny, yes. Come on, free Manny, yo. It's just me on here. What's going on, Manny? I'm supposed to be the co-host, not the main host. All right, Manny hopefully will be rejoining. If you're in danger, blink. He's off screen now. So yeah, it's Silent Night. You're tuned into Hip Hop to Save America live stream. I've taken over the show successfully. This was my plan this whole time. Let's see if we could get Manny back in here though as the co-host. See if it works. Let's see if it works. Free Manny. Hey, what's up? Yeah, Cindy, Natalie, Yasmina, Ada, Mama Knight, Marcelo, what up? Arcane, if you're in here, Steve. Shout out to everybody in here watching. And just me rambling at this point and trying to get Manny back in here.
Yo.
Hey.
Yo, that's crazy.
He's back, yo.
I had a violent crash over here.
What happened? You got
Cindy, you broke it. You broke our show, Cindy. Coming here causing trouble. I knew you were trouble.
I like it. Yasmin just said that. Oh no, we broke it. Yeah.
You broke it. What happened? I don't know. I had a violent crash and everything crashed. And then I said, well, let me open it back up and see if we're still there.
You're with us. All right.
You know how it is.
Okay. We'll do it live. Okay. We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Right. Fucking thing sucks.
That's how it goes.
Part play it. Yeah.
Look, this is what it is. I don't even know what we're talking about. I was so scared. I was like, oh man.
Like, whatever I was saying, yeah, Manny was just like looking at me really intense and intently, and then I was like, oh no, he's just frozen, I guess. Yeah.
No, everything died. It was like errors came up and everything crashed, and then I just opened it back up and said maybe it'll still work.
All right, we here.
Well, look at that. Look at God.
And hip hop saved Manny.
Look at God.
Hey, all right. Yes.
All right.
We here.
That's it. From whom all blessings flow.
All right, what else we got, Manny? We were talking about
Freestyle Mondays. Yeah, I lost all my things, so I can't tell you about anything. I got to tell you. I got to talk about. Okay, I'm gonna tell you about this because I promised my peoples. Again, New York City area, Yonkers and Westchester has a really good, like New Brunswick. Like it doesn't have it's not the first place you think of when you think of hip hop, but obviously YO, we've had Money Under Mount Vernon, like that whole area has contributed greatly to hip hop history. The Yonkers is part of the New York Public Library System. New York put out the Hip Hop 50 library cards and stuff this year. So I know that Yonkers is having an event, and I had it up, but the crash messed me up here. So I'm going to read it October 26th, Yonkers Public Library is proud to announce its partnership with renowned artist Max Moses in launching a one-of-a-kind library card that celebrates the vibrant culture of hip-hop art. This exciting initiative aims to engage and inspire the community by promoting both art and literacy. So Yonkers is participating Thursday, October 26th at 5:30 in the atrium of the Yonkers Public Library in honor of the 50th anniversary of hip-hop. Author Jerome Enders and executive branch management will be discussing his book, Yonkers, The Lost City of Hip-Hop. And then the guest will be there, Max Moses, who helped create the library card art. And then special guests will be someone from Rough Riders will be there.
That's Yonkers all day.
That's right. So Yonkers, New York. And again, I love this because, you know, we talk all the time about local hip hop. You know what I mean? Natalie Cruz says Yonkers is in fact another country. It really is. It's like not even New York. It's like Long Island. Like, first of all, Long Island, Strong Island, where I used to rest, has an incredible history of hip hop. Like De La Soul, Rakim, you know, Keith Murray, you know, K Solo, EPMD, you know, Bismarck. You know what I mean? Like Long Island goes hard for hip hop, but it's not the first place you think of. But if you investigate it a little bit, you say, oh my God, yeah, they're not as, you know, as any one particular borough, but they're pretty right up there. Yonkers is the same way.
Yep.
Rock Marciano, 100%. Come on now. Leaders of the New School, Busta Rhymes.
Yep.
Long Island go in. Don't let me talk about our friends Mecha Godzilla and the Monster Island Czars. Like, come on now. We can go deep. You know what I mean? Me. I'm a product of Strong Island. Shit. But so Yonkers is having a thing October 26th. If you're up there, like I said, if I was in New York, I'd go to all these things. So if you're up there, check it out. Check out the book. I'm going to get the author. I want to get the author of that book, Yonkers, The Lost City of Hip Hop, on the show. We are going to have interviews, folks. We're not going to just have to sit here and watch me talk for a couple of hours. SK, you'll be here as a welcomed co-host as many times as you want. But remember, my friends, and this helps me so much. Y'all don't even know. And I know not everyone could do this. But if you join the Patreon, there's like $5 a month, $10 a month levels. It helps me pay for all this. Nobody pays me for this. I stay independent. You know what I mean? They wanted me to join a podcast network. I won't say who. And I was like, that's cool. I'll get some advertising money. But, you know, maybe I don't like your advertiser. What can I do? Maybe I want to talk about, you know, some political stuff. You know, I have a whole episode, a few episodes back on the far right infiltration of hip hop. The far right infiltration of hip hop. It's actually a really incredible story you should listen to. But what if the podcast network says, no, we don't want to ruffle any feathers because we also have this other show on here, which is called the Far Right Hip Hop Show. Right? Like I can't.
Yeah.
I don't want to join a network. I don't want to get advertisers, and I don't want to have to, you know, get grants that you have to necessarily. I don't like asking the people either, because you've heard me on record say that like some organizations that, you know, ask for money from the people in the name of hip hop, take the money and go away. And so because I recognize that, and I could tell you who I'm talking about, for, like the Universal Hip Hop Museum isn't the first hip hop museum that's been attempted. And some of them have come around and said, hey, you know, donate to this cause. And they're like, and people are like, that's great. I want a hip hop Hall of Fame or hip hop museum. And they give their money and then they go away. And then you're like, what happened to my money? Like, where's the museum? And they just disappeared. This has happened more than one time. And and so I call that out. I don't like that. But I've been doing this for a long time and I haven't gone anywhere. And I'm not going anywhere. And $5 a month isn't a lot to just say, hey man, I appreciate what you're doing. You know, keep the lights on. Literally, it'll be like this. If y'all don't, it'll be dark. So if you want me to keep the lights on, it's a little thing. Now, if you pay $10 or more a month, I love you so much. I want you literally involved. I want you to be right here in SK's Downton Abbey backdrop, sipping tea and eating crumpets
Gotta give them my backdrop.
You don't have to give them your backdrop, but you're gonna get the same music. You're gonna say, "I am Silent Night, King of the Words, Maker of the Jams." Because I love the library backdrop. It's super dope. So anyway,
It's real. It's
if you can, I promise you that the more that we get there, the more I will do this. It's an obligation I have. And thank you to obviously the patrons we do definitely have so far. Shouts to Steffi, shouts to you, SK, shouts to Brianna, shouts to Squish, shouts to I should have it in front of me. It's a really terrible thing. You saw it at the beginning.
Yep.
So, but I'll do better. I'll do better at shouting out. But plus, you get to a certain level, you can come on the show and kick it with us, like during the news part in the beginning. So please join. Please, help us out. That's all. There'd be people on Substack and Patreon that have like hundreds and hundreds of patrons. And I'm like, I got like 7. Like we're really doing quality stuff here. So anyway, I won't beg. Obviously, if you can, you can. If you can't, I still love you. Please come through, kick it in the comments. Let us know. Anything you say in the comments, I'm going to say out loud. So you don't even need to pay for that. It's a freebie. So thank you to everybody. Shouts to my man, Bob Knutson. Shouts to the Oshkosh, Wisconsin fan. We got Wisco in the house. Shouts to Unfucking the Republic, my other family, my other podcast family, political, socioeconomic news that'll tell you how we got to this effed up place that we are in. Man, listen, we got some stuff happening in the world. I'm actually looking for a way that we can tackle some of the issues that are happening in the world, even though it's not just, we're Hip Hop Can Save America, but we're not oblivious. My dad was a sociologist, right? And he told me a long time ago, when I was a kid, he said, what happens across the world affects you here, right? It's like the basic law of, sociology, right? It's the basic law of economics and the basic law. I mean, when you're America, what do they say? America, sneezes, the whole world catches a cold, right? So everything that happens across the lands, across the country, across the world affects us in some way. So even though it's Hip Hop Can Save America and Hip Hop Can Save the World is coming, for those who think I don't know that it can save the world, obviously it can save everything. But I'd love to talk to some of the folks who are sort of ingrained in hip hop ethos and how we look at some of these things that are happening outside, our direct influence. It's tough. I don't want to get into this conversation. I don't want to get into this battle. I don't want to get into this conflict that's happening. Obviously, Israel, this whole situation is happening. But that's not to say I want to ignore it like it's not happening and just kind of go about our lives like, oh, we're just going to be hip hop and everyone's going to be cool. No, there's some things happening and I'm trying to find a way. I think this show, we're uniquely, semi-uniquely, I mean, there's other people that are pretty uniquely positioned to be able to talk about this stuff in an interesting way that I think we all need. So I hear and I see a lot of our hip hop media, quote unquote, folk delving into this area. And usually it's argumentative or it's very one-sided and it's very, there's obviously sides to be taken here. It's a delicate topic, but I think there's some ways that we can approach it. So I'm looking to do that. I'm looking to bring more guests onto this show. We have a bunch that are lined up. I'm going to tell you right now that I'm off next Monday. And then after that, I really want to do this every week. Please subscribe. I'm going to remind you one more time. If you're watching, please make sure you're subscribed. Please make sure your friends are subscribed. Turn notifications on. I may not come every Monday. It may be some random pop-up, and I want you to be there live in the room so that we can have these discussions. Thank you for bringing stuff to our attention that we're not aware of that are happening in your hometown. And thank you, Natalie. I appreciate you. We're getting our act together. SK is not always going to be here, but I hope that you'll be here more often than not, my friend, and you're invited to be here whenever. If you are a Patreon subscriber at $10 or more, you get to be here once a month and be the SK. You could be the SK. So I want not just everybody. Hip hop is global. Natalie, this is she never misses an opportunity to remind me that it's global and that obviously hip hop can save the world. And I know that, and I want to expand this to that. We have some work to do here. I want to stay kind of in our lane right now, but I never turn my back on those who are, we talk to folks who are doing both, right? Next level, right? They're here, but they go worldwide. The stuff you do, the hip hop global conversation that y'all have very often, I still big that up and promote that. So I do totally understand that this is global. Hip hop can save America. And when I say that, I had a great diatribe the other day where I was like, hip hop can save America. What does that actually mean? What do I mean by that? Why did I name this stupid show that? Right? It's a lofty thing. I think we need a lot more than that. Like I said, we got a whole show called Uneffing the Republic because we got to uneff the Republic from the political side, from the economic side, but hip hop has this unique thing that I believe in its DNA and its core can do what no other social movement, no other religious movement, no other political movement, no other movement can do, right? And it's that creativity, it's that each one teach one, it's that inclusivity, it's that respect for, your fellow member, whether you're in a cipher or whether you're having these discussions, that there's something in it that you don't see anywhere else. And I think that if we apply that, the more ways we apply that to the institutions that are already existing that have long since failed a large portions of the population, we'll be able to find ways to save America and then spread that. Like what was it, Bush, the spread democracy throughout the world, but in a different way, in not so imperialistic kind of way. Share that. I know it's not a stupid show. I know I'm trying to get better at not self-diminishing, Natalie. Oh God, I love that. She keeps me in check. But thank you for everyone who's tuned in and turned up with us tonight. This is the second one. We had some engagement. I think we're on to something. SK, how you feeling? Anything you want to tell the people before we wrap up and get out of here? Have our second dinners.
Second dinners. Second dinner right after this.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, not really to say, just same, echoing that. Thank you for having me on here. Thank you for everybody in the chat. And I'm excited, even for when I can't be here. I'm excited for the guests coming up. Some of them that I might have heard about possibly coming up behind the scenes.
I've given you some possibles.
And just in general, all the guests in the past on the pre-recorded shows and everything.
Yeah.
Always been great, touching on so many different things. So yeah, just excited for what's to come, man. Thank you.
Thank you, my friend, and thank y'all for tuning in. I think again, that semi crash in the middle kind of messed me up. I'm gonna make sure I didn't miss anything important. If you're in New York, man, go to Freestyle Mondays on the 22nd. Please be there. It's right in Long Island City, Queens. If you're in Atlanta, check out the Universal Hip Hop Museum. Also coming to LA and Houston and Miami. Check that out. If you're in Yonkers, go to the Yonkers event October 26th. And if you're just catching us now, go back through the archives, check out our shows on YouTube. There's been, 5 or 6 of the more traditional one-on-one interviews. And then now this is the second episode of this new show, the live stream. And then we will be bringing the interviews on here. We'll take the interviews that we do here. We'll put them onto the audio feed. So if you're just an audio listener, it's fine. Don't feel obligated to be here and catch. I got to catch the interview live or else I missed it forever. No, the interviews we're going to take and put on the audio feed. We're not going to take all of this and put it on the audio feed. So yeah. And like I said, once again, just one more time, this helps. Patreon.com/Manny Faces. Helps make this happen. I'll do it anyway. I'll do it live, regardless. And that's about it. So, New Brunswick's in the house. Strong Island, Long Island / New York, New Jersey's in the house / Atlanta's in the house. But shouts to my peoples across the world who tuned in. Natalie Crew,
Brooklyn, Staten Island.
That's right. California, Wisconsin. We got people from all over the place. So I appreciate that. We're going to make sure that we bring all the information to you. Go to mannyfaces.com. From there, you can get the Patreon if you want to support the show financially. From there, you can get the free newsletter. That's super dope. Please sign up for that, because if you like this talk, if you haven't signed up and you like this talk, then you're messing up, because it's like, I just do the newsletter. The other show that I do, which is Newsbeat, you'll find information about that. Social justice journalism mixed with music. SK is a artist in residence. We actually are an award-winning podcast there. We touched on social justice. Just did a great episode. Great. I don't know if it's doing great, but we talked about the lawsuits against Microsoft and Amazon and how they're jerking us and raising the prices on everything. Not Microsoft, sorry, Google and Amazon, and how they're raising the prices on everything across the internet, so we have to pay more when we're buying stuff from Amazon. Some trickery going on there. Check out the Newsbeat podcast. My friends at Uneffing the Republic, again, another smart, funny show that talks about economics and politics, and you would think that'd be boring, but it's not, and it tells you how we got to this place where things are effed, but we're going to try to uneff them. So mannyfaces.com is where you can find all of me and all the things that I do. Contact me. I will come and speak and do all that stuff. But I think that's it. We had a lot of good information tonight. We shared a lot of good events, past, present, and future. And thank you to everyone who tuned in. I love y'all. I hope this works for y'all. I'm gone next Monday on a secret mission. Secret mission. Do I have a secret mission sound? I have this.
Do we find out the following week what the secret mission was?
Yes, you will definitely find out the following week. So next Monday we won't be here. But then after that, I really want to keep doing. Oh, I just saw something. Look how connected I am. How can I show this? I want to show this right now. Don't go anywhere. If you are in Augusta, Georgia.
Okay.
Augusta, Georgia.
What's
Please hold. I'm going to show you. I literally just saw this on Twitter right now as we're leaving. What's the chance that anyone here is tuned in from Augusta, Georgia or nearby?
How far are you?
Weird. A few hours, a couple hours. Georgia's big.
Yeah, it is.
It takes like 4 hours to get to Florida, and I thought I was close to Florida, but I'm not that close to Florida. Oh, Georgia's big. It's a big fat state. Here's something happening in Augusta. I just want to show them love. Politics. Oh, poets, politics, and players. A history of Southern hip hop and its global impact. October 25th, 6 to 8 at the Lucy Craft Laney Museum of Black History Conference Room in Augusta, Georgia. So yeah. I'm going to repost this with a quote. I'm going to say, just shared on, well, whatever, just shared. Whatever. Anyway, so that's happening. I find out all kinds of things that are happening. So the way you can find out about how things are happening is by going to mannyfaces.com and then jumping off from there. The newsletter is linked there. Please join the newsletter. That's free. You can actually, it's a Substack, so you could actually pay there if you want to support whatever, but even if you don't, it's fine. Patreon.com is where I'm trying to like kind of consolidate all the monies. And again, if you want to be on the show, you want to highlight some of the work you're doing, just, bless me, I'll bless you. That's how it goes. But if you're doing something dope, I'll promote it for free. I'm not very good at this. Anyway, bye. We're gone. We're out of here. We're back in 2 weeks. Please tell a friend to tell a friend. Subscribe if you haven't. Here's a reminder. Look, I made a fancy thing that says... And by the way, remember last week I played this?
Where is the DJ? Remember when DJs were part of the rap group?
It's like a whole 5-minute thing. Shouts to my man, M-Try. Shouts to DJ Lisi T, husband and wife duo, super dope, friends of ours from New York City. And he had this great long thing. If you missed it, by the way, go back to the last episode and go to the end and you'll watch it. It's super dope. Or just go to his page. Go to M-Try. So my man's at Duck Down Music. Shouts to Nishi over there at Duck Down. Must have seen it, posted it to... the internets, it got bigged up and passed around and blew up. And now everyone's catching his stuff, which is great. I'm so happy. I
didn't even know that. Post
Yeah.
what, social media or something?
Yeah, like they were like, oh, here's M-Try, shouts to Manny Faces for like putting me onto it, but then reposted it, gave credit like they should to M-Try, just like we did. You know, like they seen it from us, reposted it. My people's a Duck Down Music, shouts to the whole Duck Down squad. And then people are reposting it everywhere, and you know, all kind of DJs are reposting it. He's getting a lot of love. And I'm sure he would have got a lot of love anyway, because it was, you know, he was out there and it was well known. But I know that when you get a repost from Duck Down Music, you know, that's not insignificant. And they got it from us. So I'm not patting myself on the back. I'm just saying, like, you know, I'm very happy that we have this community of folks that are looking out, because that was a really dope, independently made, small section of the world. But he did something dope, and now everyone's recognizing him. That's what we're trying to do here. That's exactly what we're trying to do. If you want to find the dope stuff from all the little corners of the world, this is the place you're going to try to, you know, that you're going to find it. That's what we're going to try to do. So follow us, stay with us, come back in 2 weeks, and we'll do it again. Thank you, Silent Night, my man, my mellow, who doesn't eat Jell-O. Because it's pork and Jell-O. This is new to me.
There's a Nas lyric. I mean, there's a bunch of lyrics about that.
I was thinking tonight earlier. Y'all can go, but I was thinking tonight earlier. You know how, like,
could be,
you know.
Sorry, keep going.
No, I was saying, thank you, Ada. Appreciate you. I think I just put up a thing on my site pointing to the interview we did, so I'm sharing it to my peoples. You know, like the pork thing, like, it's a longer conversation. I really want to talk to the nutritionist. I want to find out, because, you know, I grew up not knowing about like pork being, you know, unhealthy type food, whatever. And then, you know, the other white meat, and there's a whole marketing campaign. And then, you know, you start meeting people who are either Muslim or, you know, or just like kind of health conscious. And they're like, no, pork is not good. No pork on my fork. I get it. So I'm like, okay, now I still eat pork like ravenously. I have no problem with it. And I don't know that my peoples who are either, you know, Muslim or super health conscious and talk about pork as being something not so good for you. I don't think they're necessarily wrong. I don't know. I'm just curious. So it's something I thought about earlier today. And so it's funny that it came up tonight, because I made a bacon, egg, and cheese for breakfast, lunch, brunch. And I miss New York. I miss New York bacon, egg, and cheeses. I got to come back soon. Anyway, my friends, so basically I want to say, like, I don't know, is pork really bad for you? Like, I know I've heard that things like tilapia is like not great for you because of something. And I don't really pay attention. I don't go down the rabbit holes, but I want to know, like, once and for all, from a bunch of different sources, is pork really bad for you? Is it actually, like, maybe it was once, but now it's not? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I'm in the middle. Anyway. Bacon, egg, and cheese. But get me one of those sooner than you think. All right, my friends, I'm out. MannyFaces.com. Shouts to SK. Shouts to Yasmina, Ada, Natalie, Bob Knutz, and Natalie. Did I say Natalie again? I love Natalie Cruz so much. Natalie, you know I'm coming to, where are you? Are you in California? I'm in LA. I'm in Long Beach in November for like 6 days. Can we finally be in the same place at the same time? Thanks to Marcelo, who checked in earlier. Shouts to Jay Webb, my people's up there in Dayton, Ohio. They got a great Fly With Us podcast that I've been on. Bob says he's about a quarter bacon. Right, and you're old. You're probably my age. Like, we're old. We eat bacon. We live. I know. I'm not, look, if you don't eat any animals, if you're vegan or vegetarian, like, that's fine. I approve of all of that. I just don't know if that, like, remember they said, like, milk, like, was good for you. And then now everyone's like, no, that was marketing. Milk is not good for you. I get that. Oh, see, Bob, you're younger than me. So I'm old. I don't know what I'm talking about. So milk was a marketing campaign to say, like, milk is good for you, but it's not. It's not really that good for you. Like, I understand that concept. And I think pork was the same thing. Like, oh, pork, the other white meat. Pork, it's what's for dinner. Pork is good and healthy. But is it? And then everyone's like, nah, B, pork is nasty and disgusting and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, damn, maybe I shouldn't eat pork. But I don't know. I don't know that pork is any less good for me than anything else that's processed. You know, so I don't know. I'm trying to figure this out. I want to get to the bottom of it. No, what's beef is, and I can't remember the Biggie lyric. Anyway, I see my numbers are fading. It's like 2 of you left, so we're out of here. Y'all done with me. Let me not go. I love cheese, bro. I'm never gonna stop eating cheese, Bobs. Don't worry. Cheese is it for me. I love cheese. I'm gonna eat cheese right now. I'm just gonna eat cheese and go to bed. No cheese all the time. Cheese. What you mean no cheese? All the time, cheese. I'm waking people up in my house yelling about cheese. Hip hop could save America. Probably. Peace, we out.